Be on your guard. Be on your guard. There are older and fouler things than orcs in the deep places of the world.
You know we're at war!
From the beginning, we knew she couldn't do this alone. Every good quest needs a fellowship.
But you have not seen what I have seen.
I have seen my share.
You have not seen what I have
Inspection!
We don't change anything, but we interpret everything in this incredible, unique way. Everyone was cast because they were the absolute best person for the role.
Second Age is the great unfilmed story in Tolkien's entire Legendarium, with the Forging of the Rings and the Last Alliance. And we felt that that was the story that deserved to be told.
There is a tempest in me. It swept me to this island for a reason.
They cast you out for deigning to beg them for a few petty soldiers. What will they do when you tell them that you are my ally? When you tell them that Sauron lives because of you!
Oh, always beard. Enough with the quail sauce. Give me the meat and give it to me raw. Looks like meat back on the menu, boys.
One does not simply walk into Mordor.
Hail and howdy, everybody. Welcome to another edition of This is Mordor Country, where we do our best to basically destroy Rings of Power, because it's a horrible, horrible show that serves no purpose but to honestly make us more money than it makes for Amazon. And that's a fact.
But that's true.
That's true. That's true. Because we'll talk about this on another show, but they've lost so much percentage of their viewership. It's already at acolyte levels.
But Adam, all the episodes together in 2 weeks achieved 40 million views. It is the most successful show Amazon has seen in the last week.
According to Amazon.
Did they count those 40 million on their fingers and repeatedly and get it? I don't know. It's more Amazon retarded metrics trying to say it's the most 40 million on Prime around the world, not watched overall. It's terrible.
And we remember last time they counted a view as just looking at the page. So maybe a few people were forced to watch an ad or something, or it came up on the main homepage. Who knows?
It's ridiculous. It's retarded. But you know what? Because it's so retarded, we get to have fun making fun of it, and I love it. So welcome one and all. Let's go around the horn, say hi, and then let's begin the pain. Dermy.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi. Oh, you want me to go? Okay. Yeah. Hi, I'm Dermy Wormy. Adam, every single time I hear that there's a tempest in me, I'm expecting like a fart sound. Every time. And the fact that there's no fart sound there, I'm disappointed in you. But at least I have dark mode, so I'm in a good mood.
All right. Oh, shut up.
Yeah, look how bright his screen is.
No, YouTube's being retarded, and I'm trying to go to studio, and it's just
got flashbanged.
Yeah, I know. That's a different white. It has nothing to do with my lack of dark mode on StreamYards, you evil assholes who lorded over me. Anyway, so F you, Derby. And ABF, how you doing, man? Welcome back.
Good. This will be my third watch of the show, because the first time I watched it, I didn't retain anything because my mind just didn't want it. So I had to focus and watch it again. So I have a whiskey cocktail now.
Hey, no wrong with that sometimes. Jed, how you feeling?
I mean, not great that I'm sitting here spending what could be 3 hours of my life on another episode of Rings of Power, but other than that, I'm great. Rings of Power is just not good for my mental health.
Hey, just remember, in about 3 or 4 weeks, our drive-in audience is going to make us probably watch something horrible. All right, just remember that.
Jed, serious question: what's worse for your health, Doctor Who, Rings of Power, or The Witcher?
You can't do that to me, man. There's a reason I spaced. I'm glad that they're spaced out. I've never had to do all 3 of them at the same time, thankfully. So it would have to be a scenario like that where I'd have to choose, but probably Doctor Who just because of how invested I am. But you know, it might be a case by case basis.
Hey, we get more Doctor Who in 3 months.
Oh yeah, are you guys ready for the chick from Bridgerton to talk about how fat she is and how that's great?
I had already let that slip away that she's our guest companion for the Christmas special. Oh,
who knows? She might be so popular that they pull a Donna and have her come back for season 3 as the companion.
Well, let's be honest.
Please no.
The Bridgerton people are who are watching and supporting New Who.
Bridgerton ain't watching this
episode. Well, there was the Bridgerton episode in Doctor Who that.
Yeah, Bridgerton didn't watch it.
Well, I guess you're right. I don't know. Rachel, what do you think? Are we going to survive this?
Gosh, I hope so. Had just happened to be part of the one of the 40 million amazingly large, huge number of viewers of the show. I think when Jed and I were watching this, I think this is the most paused episode we've had in this season because you just had to keep pausing it to just laugh at how ridiculous some of these ideas are, and it's gonna be a hoot.
Yeah, I know exactly what we're gonna all stop on as we go through this. I already know. I know. And finally able to join us, our lore master for the remainder of the season, Horny Alf.
I'm happy to be here. Not because of my love of Rings of Power, but because of my love of tearing it apart and showing where the falsities lie in there. I'm gonna do a little history lesson in a second here. History of the Second Age. However, it pertaining to that in the intro where Disa says we didn't change anything. You will quickly see in my little history lesson that is a load of horse shit.
I know. Everything is changed. Everything.
It's awful.
It is awful. And hail and howdy to everybody across all the chats. We are happy to have you here. Links are all in the description below. Hit those like buttons and hang out for this. I don't know. I don't have any metaphors for it anymore. So I'm out. A soap opera. This episode is a soap opera, is what it was.
That's why I wanted to fall asleep.
At one point, when I got to my Region section of my review, I said, like sands through the hourglass, so are the days of a Region. I mean, because that's what it was. It's just mind-numbingly stupid and acted and story told. But anyway, all right. So Alf, as I said, is our lore guy. I've been very excited for him to go here because we'd like to have somebody who knows the nitty-gritty details because I make mistakes. I am about as casual as you can get when it comes to Tolkien. I know things through osmosis from other people who are more knowledgeable. I get corrected all the time. I said in my review, I said Al Farazan, and I had people coming in, dude, it's R Farazan. I go, okay.
Yeah. I'm Al Farazan.
Joke, yeah. Make it a joke.
Oh, well, I mean,
better change your name now.
It's like Weird Al or something.
Yeah, change my name to Al Farazan.
Yeah.
So, Al Farazan. Yeah, it's good.
Horny Al Farazan.
But I mean, I accept the correction because I've said all along I don't know every little thing. I make mistakes, and hell, a couple weeks ago I said Barrow Mounds at one point instead of Barrow Downs because I was just in the rhythm. But that's an acceptable thing.
They're technically mounds.
There are mounds there, so I didn't feel that bad, and I was able to edit out one point. I said it like twice. I was able to edit out one cleanly. I had to leave the other one in. Anyway, but Alf is here to catch us when we fall, and he's also here to be the most outraged at some of this stuff.
Oh yeah.
So I'm falling, baby.
Shut up, dark mode boy. Anyway, so Alf, you haven't been here, so I'm going to give you a chance now, just to let it all out.
So
on how bad it is. So go.
What I want to do is I want to set the stage by giving you just a quick history of the Second Age of Middle-earth. The Second Age of the numbered ages of Middle-earth was the longest in the books. It's a age of the Tale of Woe. You know, a lot of mistakes that people make that get resolved in the Third Age, obviously. But I'm going to have a bunch of dates, a bunch of events, and I went through the timeline and I picked up events that are being shown or alluded to eventually being in this show, just to show you the actual time difference between the things that happened in the Second Age versus them showing it all happening in about a week, is what it seems. Mm-hmm. But let me go through these real quick. So, the year 1000 of the Second Age, Sauron begins construction of Barad-dûr, which is his tower in Mordor. Contrary to the show, Mordor always was shitty. They didn't just create shit. They didn't create Mordor. It was always shitty. And it was never
Southlands.
It was never called the Southlands. That's a bunch of horse shit.
And didn't Morgoth create Mount Doom back in the First Age?
I don't recall it ever being created by anyone. It was a mountain that was there.
Yeah, I think I read something that he was involved in doing something with it, like in the First Age. I was last year.
Either way,
did this, yeah.
Fast forward to 1500, year 1500 of the Second Age. The Rings of Power are forged, and then Anatar departs Eregion as Sauron goes to Mordor to start work on his ring. Now, the rings that were created in the year 1500 were the Dwarven and the human rings. The Elven rings were not created at this time. The Dwarven and the human rings were created with the help of Sauron in the guise of Anatar. He disguised himself as an elf, so that's kind of accurate in the show. But what was his name before he changed in the show to Anatar?
Halbrand.
Halbrand was not.
First trap Halbrand.
Halbrand was not a thing. Did not exist.
Nope. He was there for all the twinks.
So, like Gary has said on the Nerderotic channel, Galadriel and some of the other elves didn't trust Anatar. They something was off about him. However, he did go to Celebrimbor. Celebrimbor was one of the Noldor. It was a different region from the Grey Havens and the West. The Noldor were the elves that went to Valinor. They eventually came back to Middle-earth, and they were told they couldn't come back because of their issues, the kinslayings. They killed other elves, so they couldn't return. They wanted to preserve Middle-earth to be as close to Valinor as they remember it. So that's why Celebrimbor was looking for creating these rings.
You mean it's not okay to harm your family?
No. 1590, the three rings are forged. So Celebrimbor did create the three elven rings without Sauron's help or corruption. The rings, although the reason why the three rings are still tied to the one ring is because he still used techniques that Sauron taught him. So that's why when the one ring was destroyed, the three elven rings lost their power. So, going forward, 1600, the one ring is forged in Barad-dûr, or in Mount Doom. Barad-dûr is completed. Sauron openly proclaims himself, so the world is aware that he is back. He didn't die at the end of the First Age when Morgoth was killed. He just went into hiding. So 1697, the sack of Eregion. So that's when.
Wait a minute. We're sieging Eregion now.
I know.
Wait.
So 1697, Sauron attacks Eregion.
Not Adar.
Yeah. What about Adar?
No,
what about Daddy Adar, who's so sexy and women love him?
The reason
Where's Galadriel in all this?
She was never a warrior.
Oh.
But there's a line that said she wrapped her hair up in a braid and performed athletics as well as the men.
So at this point, the reason why he attacked Eregion is because he wanted the other rings so that he could use them for his purposes.
Wait, but I thought he had the rings.
No. He left the rings with Celebrimbor.
He has a cock ring. That's what he's got.
So the dwarven and the human rings were left with Celebrimbor. So when Sauron attacked Eregion and killed Celebrimbor, spoiler, he took the rings back and then used them and dispersed them to the men and the dwarves. Any questions at this point?
Well, I mean, I question the intelligence of people who made this show.
Yeah.
But that's always a
that's
question.
usual.
Yeah.
So, in response to this, the Númenóreans jumped into action. They came to Middle-earth from their island and attacked Sauron and pushed him back towards Mordor. Hold on. Okay, so 3255. So we're making a little jump here. Ar-Pharazôn seizes the scepter of Númenor. So, Miriel was never the queen. She never was going to be the queen. He seized it right away. As soon as the previous king died, he seized it. She was supposed to be the king or the queen, but
was
she didn't.
Ever blinded?
No.
By sparks from a tiny.
Fuck
fire?
no.
Your Mount Doom pyroclastic flow didn't damage her whatsoever.
No. So Ar-Pharazôn, he ended up taking it as soon as his father passed away. He took the throne immediately. She was supposed to be queen, but he just immediately seized the throne.
And then forcefully married her and
yep,
abused
and
her.
helped make Númenor great again.
Thanks,
So, let me ask you: is there any of these differences that you could defend?
All right, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Sort
We
of.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Can you defend any of this for like adaptation for live action?
So I'll get to that when I finish up this timeline. I'll
Gotcha.
talk to that because this is the whole point I'm getting to. Is you'll see in a second here. Okay, 3262 of the Second Age. Sauron is taken to Númenor as prisoner. So the Númenóreans eventually defeat Sauron. This isn't the part at the end of the last alliance. I'll get to that in a second. But this is where they take him to Númenor. That's where at the point.
This is the subjugation, right?
Right.
Subjugation, yeah.
So you bring him to Númenor. He starts corrupting Ar-Pharazôn to hate Ilúvatar, who is the one god in this universe. Eventually convincing Ar-Pharazôn to create a great host and try to attack Valinor. Once he attacks Valinor, the Ilúvatar steps in, sinks Númenor into the sea. Númenor falling into the seas at the year 3319. 3320, Arnor and Gondor are founded. You guys know what Gondor is. Arnor is the northern kingdom. It fell during the Third Age before the Lord of the Rings story takes place. But here's the point. The Númenóreans, long before those two kingdoms were founded, had settlements all along the coasts of Middle-earth. Does the show point out that? Does it give any kind of hint the Númenóreans have a presence?
We've got ruins with a broken aqueduct.
Yeah. But they have presence all over Middle-earth on the coasts. It just, once Númenor fell, they founded formal kingdoms there. So, 3434, as in the movie, it states at the beginning of the movie, the last alliance, march on Mordor, Battle of Dagorlad. And then it was not until 3441 that the ring is taken, Gil-galad and Elendil are killed, and then we pick up with the Lord of the Rings, how they talk on that.
Yeah, so
my whole point in this whole storyline that I'm spelling out here, you can see the time difference is terrible. They left so much on the table to Amazon. If they were competent in any bit, they could have made 4 or 5 different shows with 24 episode seasons.
Yeah.
And they could have picked each of these events. The rise and fall of Númenor could have been
an
a show.
anthology. It could have been an anthology.
The rise and fall of Númenor could have been a show all in its own, and it could have been very much like Game of Thrones because it's a lot of political intrigue. It's a lot of good guys in the kingdom, bad guys in the kingdom. That's the whole point. They had so much they could have done. They could have had, like I said, 4 or 5 different shows, and they failed.
Alf, they needed a female protagonist. So Galadriel was born. Not Galadriel.
Let me talk about Galadriel. The casting is shit. So look at it this way: Galadriel, in the books, she was 6'4". Does this actress look even anywhere near to be tall.
Morphid, resting bitch face Clark. No,
she has
she's 5'4".
Yeah, she has she has the body and stature of a short person.
She has no ass.
Elendil was 7'10". Does the guy who's playing him look like he's 7'10"?
Which one's Elendil again?
Elendil.
Theodore's dad.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No.
So the Numenorians were basically the superhumans of Middle Earth.
Yeah.
They were blessed at the end of the First Age, and they founded Numenor, and they were basically given long life, and they were tall. They were the peak health. So this guy does not look like a 7'10" tall guy.
No.
So I could talk more as we go through the episode, but it's all nonsense.
Well, this episode especially is where we run into this time crunch you just really broke down for us, the proper order of the lore. Because you can see them now putting the pieces into place of here comes the Numenorian preparation to attack Valinor, but there's been while in lore there is
the rings haven't even been founded, or not all the rings have been created yet.
Yeah. So, but there's not even that. We'll get to the ring thing, which Jed was absolutely right about last week.
I called it.
Oh,
Jed
and they
completely and totally called the 9 rings thing.
And they created the rings out of order.
Yeah, so everything's out of order, and so I've been reminded in comments that the Numenorians always had the jealousy for elves, and they were always wanting what they had, the immortality, and this is
right.
But it didn't kick into high gear till Sauron was there to influence and corrupt and push.
Well, so that's another part of me looking through the lore. The corruption of men and the jealousy of men for elves and their immortality was taking place over 1,500 years during the Second Age. So all it took was Sauron to kind of push them over the edge to attack Valinor, which is what Sauron really wanted, was to attack the gods and the Maiar. So that's really all it took, was him giving a little nudge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but Sauron was that nudge. And he's not even there to start them to build the fleet, as make Numenor great again. Pharazôn wants clearly hints that he's ready to do this week, and everything else in the lore crunch. They're speeding up the fall of Khazad-dûm. We'll get fucking diesel.
A couple of let me address one other thing as far as the timeline goes. The wizards. They never showed up until 1000 of the Third Age.
Yeah.
Now, there is conflicting. There's some letters that came out later from from Tolkien that state he may have changed his mind. The blue wizards may have showed up early, but you can clearly see with the 2 wizards they've showed so far in the show, they're setting up Gandalf and
is that
Saruman.
I don't know. Do you think that
I would not put it past him. Looks like Saruman, a younger version.
But I wouldn't put it past him. But I think it's just an unnamed wizard. He's being antagonistic towards Gandalf. So I don't even think they could justify the fact that they were friends. At the beginning of the Lord of the Rings. So
we'll
I
have to wait on that.
Adding a wizard.
And they teased. We'll see it in this when we go through the episode. They teased the Balrog. The Balrog doesn't show up and destroy Moria or Khazad-dûm until 1980 of the Third Age.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
That's a long ways away.
You just said Third Age. You said Third Age.
Yes.
It's like 5,000 years.
Doesn't even happen in Second Age. All right, so we'll get there because Diza is just abysmal. She's abysmal. We'll get. All right, so here we go.
Oh, on top of that, there were no black elves. There were no black dwarves.
Oh, come on.
There were no black
You're just hating
halflings.
Those high and tight fades, man. You're just hating those high and tight fades.
The closest thing the hobbits had to black was they called them. They were basically swarthy, so they basically looked like Mediterranean.
Well, tell that to angry black hobbit woman from last episode.
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
I'm sure we'll get it. We're gonna get a face full of that next week, I'm sure. All right, so here we go.
All right.
We are in Khazad-dûm and the Dwarven rings. Now, this shit is costume jewelry, man.
It looks shit.
That looks awful.
That is awful.
It doesn't even look like they're trying.
Yeah. Now, Alf, you mentioned to me earlier in the week that the order with the who gets the dwarven rings, this is out of order, right?
So once Sauron sacks Eregion, he gets the rings. He gives the dwarven rings to, because he gives those out first, then to the men. The dwarven rings he gives to. So if you know anything about the dwarves in Middle Earth, there's 7 clans of dwarves. That lines up. He gives 7 rings to the 7 leaders of the 7 clans of dwarves. So that's the problem. Is he meant for the rings of dwarves to corrupt them like they did the human rings did to the human kings. But in their case, it didn't work that way. It just made them very greedy to the point where they were fighting over treasure.
We'll get to that.
I do have a lore question for Alp though.
Yeah.
When the dwarven rings, and I guess to a certain extent the human rings, when they were created, were they created with the express purpose by Celebrimbor to be the dwarven rings? Because I heard they weren't. They were just rings, and then Sauron, gave them to the dwarven rings, and they just were afterwards called that.
When I looked up stuff, it didn't specifically state that, so I can't remember if that's what they used them for. I'd have to look into it. Let me do some research.
Okay. But so I do want to talk about the corruption part when we get to that section here. But I just point out these things look like costume jewelry. They look stupid.
They look terrible.
Yeah,
they're abysmal.
Besides they really focus on that dwarven aesthetic that they're going with, the sharp gold lines or the peaks. And we'll try to point it out later, but there's a point where the gold actually rubs off on Durin's hand. It's spray painted gold.
Is it? I hate how these
look. I don't
just
get why Celebrimbor gave all 7 rings to King Durin and said, all right, I'll totally trust you to give these to the 7 lords. Instead of, he's got 10 fingers. Put them all on, see what happens there. The Finny Gauntlet situation.
Hey, you want some rings? I'll give you some protection here.
What would happen if you wore more than 1 power ring?
I don't know. I honestly
Thanos.
don't know. Thanos. Probably. You could do a snap. Wait. So if one dwarf lord were all 7 rings, could that challenge Sauron's 1 ring? Because it's just concentrated? I don't know.
All right, I'm changing my prediction from last week. It's not... All right, go ahead.
The problem is the rings, other than the elven rings, because they were made separately. The dwarf and human rings were subservient to the 1 ring.
Okay, Monty says right here that the rings were made for the elves, not dwarves. Sauron attacked the Eregion to get the rings later to do what he wanted with them. Okay,
I think that makes
sounds
sense.
right.
Yeah, Celebrimbor making rings for dwarves seems a little strange, but yeah, with that, that makes sense to me. But I want to change my prediction from last week. It's not going to be Diza putting on 1 ring, Sing fighting the Balrog while everyone evacuates Khazad-dûm. She's going to put on all 7 rings and Sing fight.
She's going to brass knuck that shit.
Yeah, like brass knuckle.
Superman punch to the Balrog.
Use her singing to fly.
She's going to rip off her awful weave and just go like, "Come at me!"
Adam, you might want to highlight his next chat because that's important for this episode too.
Okay. Except 1 ring that Celebrimbor gave to the 3rd because Celebrimbor was, and that's also important because
he was the dwarf friend.
I'm lost on who's friends with who.
Mani is not incorrect. Celebrimbor was friends with the dwarves. They had a close relationship. The dwarves of the dwarves of Khazad-dûm and the elves of Eregion did have close relationships. So yes, one of the dwarf rings was saved and sent to the king of Khazad-dûm. The others were captured by Sauron.
And so all right, I was gonna make a gay joke. I'll save that for later when we're actually doing
There's a bit of an incest we can do in this show.
There's lots. Well, listen, the Celebrimbor gay jokes just all over the place. So
I can't wait to see Celebrimbor's fate because he gets turned into a banner for Sauron. His body.
That's gonna be graphic. Yeah. But they had to get his family out of the way for the gay joke.
And he's tortured before that. So.
Well, they're gonna do some sort of they've teased him mentally breaking down in this season in trailers. So I guess it's gonna happen all at once because they're getting those 9 rings done in the next couple weeks. They were getting ready at the end of this episode. So, because he'll be done.
Correct what we did wrong.
Yeah. Oh, and to go back here, hang on. I want to highlight the fact that I saw this earlier. Let me find the chat. And Alexander Moss is right. Even though the Shadow of Mordor games, Shadow of War games are massively historically wrong.
Oh,
they are bad, but they're badass fun.
Yeah, they're fun, but they're not lore whatsoever.
They're horrible lore. Oh, it's terrible. Even I knew that while I was playing. I'm like, wait a minute. How is dude who's in this a Nazgul at the end of it? What? Huh?
How is Shelob a woman?
How is Shelob transforming into a sexy chick, which goes against all my warning signals as I hate spiders, but sexy chick? No, I can't. I couldn't handle that. That was warping my fragile little mind. But
that just means
it really changes. It really changes the context of her penetrating Frodo.
Oh God!
Oh.
Yes.
No.
Point is, those games are horribly wrong, but they make Celebrimbor a total badass angry ghost, and they make it a whole. But it's I categorize those games as just pure fun. I mean, there's nothing like when you play Shadow of War, collecting your orc army and going after a citadel. That is just. Oh, it's so much fun. Well, it is so good.
That's what this show is lacking. I feel like a lot of people would forgive its, lore and accuracies if it was at least fun or basically good dialogue wise, which Shadow of Mordor I think is. So
there was good writing in that. It was good writing. It was fun.
Little trivia for you if we're talking about the Elven rings. Did you know that Gandalf wore one of the Elven rings?
Yeah, Ring of Fire.
Yep.
Fire.
And the reason it was the Ring of Fire is because it stoked hope in people's hearts. That's why Gandalf was so influential.
It didn't help him go down.
Using the rings, he was able to influence men to have courage and move on.
Yeah. All right. So he puts the ring on for the first time, and he's gonna go down. Now, this is what I love so much. This whole scene here of I'm gonna help you guys find the new light shaft. Now, I understand the idea of hitting one spot to basically generate another place to crack, but you realize literally how closely, when the hole opens up here in a moment, they're literally maybe 15 feet away from 20 feet from the surface.
That can't be a load-bearing wall like they claim it is.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. That was all bullshit. Yeah.
There's nothing above it. It's not load-bearing anything except for itself.
They're at the top of the mountain.
Well,
that's not a foundational wall. Not
to mention that in the books there was never a earthquake that closed all the tunnels in Khazad-dûm.
There couldn't be an earthquake to cause a tunnel in the show. It doesn't make sense.
It's so stupid.
Mordor and Khazad-dûm are pretty far apart. I don't think.
Yeah.
They were over 1,000 miles apart.
Oh my gosh.
And now when he's swinging that pickaxe right here. I guess the ring is giving him extra strength. He's just going, and it's as though he's taking Hulk measured smashes on that thing.
They actually alluded to that. Like, remember when they told him to take a break?
That's not how the ring works.
Yeah, he's like, usually we take a break around this time. It seemed like the ring was giving him extra stamina.
Yeah,
I don't get how. Yeah, I don't get how the dwarven ring is giving him super strength, X-ray vision, and dowsing abilities for gold.
Well, there was another line. He said they used to be able to hear the mountain, and then after putting the ring on,
you can see it.
They allude to him literally seeing gemstones and everything around them.
The dwarven rings just amplified the normal characteristics of dwarves.
Yeah.
So they're already hardy people, but when the kings wore the rings, it drove their lust for treasure and gold.
Which explains Erebor and the sickness in Erebor. But we're not there. Man, we're going to tell later. Those representatives from the other dwarven kingdoms, they got there fast, man. They got there so fast.
Everyone got there fast. How many trips to Eregion are there in this episode?
Everyone fast travels in this.
Yeah,
except for Adar and his army. That army froze.
They still fast travel.
They fast travel at the end.
At the end?
I mean, there's no way that army went from Mordor to Eregion and nobody freaking noticed it.
At the very end, I know this is jumping. Galadriel's in Mordor with Adar.
No. They're outside of Eregion, dude.
Yeah, no.
Adar's in Eregion.
To to give you
Yes.
some
Oh,
to
sure
give you
about this.
some
I don't know anymore.
to give you some scope here. The Lord of the Rings, from the beginning of Fellowship of the Ring until the end of Return of the King, was 13 months of travel time.
Yes.
So this
We
fast
watched
travel
all the
shit
way.
is ridiculous. This
Yeah. So right there, look, this is essentially they're right near the surface. There's
That's
you
not
telling me
holding anything.
dwarves, expert miners wouldn't know without the fake stone singing, without that shit. You're not telling me they didn't know they were just 20 feet away from the surface? Bullshit.
It's
They
ridiculous.
could have heard a bird.
Well, and they
Only
still,
bird.
as they showed in this episode, they can still get out of the mountain. So they have open tunnels to the surface. So expand those. Those tunnels are safe. Put mirrors in them for the time being. Like, it just
That requires logic.
And they show crops. The dwarves were not known for being vegetarians. They liked meat. They like it raw.
Look how close they are to the surface right there. Look at this.
That
Look
was
at this.
instantaneous.
Look, it's like right outside. You telling me they couldn't find that?
They're
It's
morons.
ridiculous. It's the dumbing down of shit by idiots. Is what
Are
it
they
is.
just relying on Disa and her singer so much that they don't actually have any delving? Because they use that word 700 times. They don't have any actual mining abilities.
I guess not.
Apparently.
I guess not.
I mean,
Disa's been doing it the whole time.
it is stupid, but they're just trying to point out that Durin can see the mountain now. It's just kind of dumb the way they did it.
And this speech is really bad. It
It's-
makes no sense.
Make Khazad-dûn great again. We bring the sun to us.
They're trying to make us love Sauron, and I'm starting to like Sauron.
I swear to God, by the time we get to the end of the
Dermy.
season, everybody's
Yeah.
going to want to make their own country great again.
Are you
by the end of the
shipping
season.
for Sauron?
No,
We
because
all are.
everybody wants to listen. Sauron is making everything better, obviously. So why don't we just side
He's
with
done
him?
nothing wrong.
Come on,
Yeah.
Dermy. You think he's hot?
No.
I mean, listen, we want Galadriel to peg him. We want that so badly.
Yes.
It's from last year.
Oh, and
now, okay.
And Galadriel's a whore. She has a husband somewhere.
Still not mentioned.
Still not mentioned.
Where's her
And
daughter?
the daughter.
Where's her daughter?
People still think Adar's Celeborn.
Yep.
Bullshit.
That was a theory in season
I've heard
1
that
that I
one.
could see as being possible, but after they met,
I hope they do that shit because I'll laugh so hard.
All right,
Is
so
that makes Galadriel the stepmom to all orcs.
oh, great.
Oh,
But here, all right. So now
Mhm.
we talked about this earlier. Diza was all for the rings 2 episodes ago.
Yes.
Now suddenly, because it took her job,
Yep.
she ain't in on it. Now, oh no, I'm a
It's purely
bad feeling about this.
selfish.
Yeah.
She's
Yep.
one of the worst people this season, like morally speaking. She's a bad person, just looking for power.
Yep.
It's such a flip flop because she was the best thing about season 1.
Yeah.
Until she became a Sith Lord right at the end. Like, oh, no. I want power, unlimited power.
She's constantly flip-flopping a what the fuck her prerogative is, just so she's always the good one.
Oh,
Yeah.
and this singing to the rock shit
It's bullshit.
It's bullshit. It's not in
No,
the
you
book.
You mean
so
I
doesn't
can't sing at a rock?
nonsense.
There's no singing to the rock.
No.
All right.
I'll sing to a rock.
All right, so it's like sands through the hourglass, so are the days of Eregion. And Celebrimbor is now giving his victory speech about
Which is
this,
like
and
2
now
seconds long, but Sauron hates how long
hates
it
it.
is.
And now here, this did annoy the hell out of me.
Yep.
Oh.
Origin
Who- all right.
story.
All right.
Who-
So
when I
this
brought
show.
real quick,
this-
real quick.
okay,
Real
go
quick. When I brought this up last week, who was it that I couldn't remember when I did my review? Who was it that said that the whole mithril in the etching? Who said that was going to allude to this? I don't remember who said that.
I think I pointed it out because that's what it was.
I don't want to give you credit. I'll give Jed credit. Anyway,
All right, I'll take it. It's totally my idea.
Well done, Jed.
This show
it up.
is indicative of modern story writing.
Mhm.
It's a bunch of member berries. Same thing we saw in a bunch of the Disney Star Wars shows, just member berries. And then repurposed lines from the Peter Jackson movies, and not even like changing it up a little bit. It's the exact lines.
we
Go
shall
back to the
seek
shadow.
friend and enter and have a secret password. And I did get a kick. I got a kick out of it that they're going to say a secret password at some point, and Sauron's like right there. So I guess that's how the goblins got into Moria. I guess.
Maybe
Well,
that's what they could be alluding to.
So in the lore, after Region was destroyed, the dwarves tried to attack Sauron, were unsuccessful. They ran back into Moria and they shut the doors, and they wrote it out. Sauron couldn't get into Khazad-dûm.
Okay,
that's important.
So I guess he didn't hear the secret password.
I do want to say, I think including the origin story for the doors to the Mines of Moria is just as dumb as Solo doing the origin story for his dice. It's just so unnecessary. But Rachel actually pointed this out when we were watching, so I want to give her credit for that. The doors aren't working. Based on what we saw, 2 episodes ago with Celebrimbor, you need the moonlight to see all the engravings on it. They're not. There's no moonlight on this door right now.
Well, I don't think he's put the etchings in there yet. I don't think it's been.
Well, I mean, you can see it
inscribed. Yeah, I don't think it's been injected with the mithril, with the mithril sauce yet.
Regardless, you still, because of the magic that was imbued in the doors, you still wouldn't even be able to see the what he's looking at right now. You wouldn't be able to see the carvings.
Well, what I'm saying is, I think the carvings are just carvings at this point, and
then the mithril's gonna fill them in.
By their crap version of this, the mithril is what makes it magic at the end. These are just
then
carvings.
wouldn't you be able to see the mithril?
Do?
It does everything apparently.
I mean, it's Elven Viagra through the rings. So
it's going to be in the One Ring. You can almost guarantee it at this point.
It has to be by the whole definition of how rings of power are made. The One Ring has to have mithril, even though I've never heard of
Sting's going to be made of it.
They're going to have an origin story for Sting,
probably.
Oh, it was
what is it? Not Gandalf or Tom Bombadil conjures it for Nori, and it just exists.
Oh, please make that real. I want that so bad. Every time we say one of these things that are just so ludicrously stupid, they're going to do
it. They're going to do it
because then that gives me a review. That gives me a clip that I can clip out of the review and make it a video all by itself. It's so much to work with. I want it. So speak, friend, and enter this. And when I said that this is done for member berries and this and that, somebody said, well, the doors were illustrated long before Peter Jackson did this, and I said that's fine. I accept that, but this is still goddamn member berries, just like Alf said a couple minutes ago. This is total member berries.
It doesn't make sense that it's included. But
go ahead.
I just hate that they're doing the doors here for another reason. Is when it comes to fantasy realms, dwarves are some of my favorite races. They're just very fascinating to me. But the show is consistently taking away all their greatest achievements and giving them to elves. Like there was dwarven magic. As far as I'm aware, the doors of Moria were dwarven made, and they showed the prowess of their skill in magic and craftsmanship. But nope, they're just elven made. Yeah, everything they do is elven made. They don't have.
Why would you make doors to Moria in the elf territory anyways? Why would you do this?
It should be carved into the mountain itself.
Khazad-dûm and Eregion were fairly close. That's why they had a close relationship. That's why the elves knew the word to open the doors, because at that time they were friends with each other.
But that wouldn't justify why you're making them in.
It doesn't make sense craftsmanship.
Yeah.
It should be carved into the mountain itself. Otherwise, there's
like the secret door to Erebor. It's just it's there. So they're all happy about this. We're all together. We're having a good time. Celebrimbor's going to do his victory lap, but Sauron's not happy, guys. He doesn't like it.
You talk too long.
I want to just mention here now as we get up to that. Charlie Vickers, who plays Sauron, somebody mistakenly told him show no emotion as Anatar. Yep. Anatar is supposed to be charisma maxed beyond max.
I'm sorry to interject. I gotta say, I can't stand Celebrimbor's hair.
It's so modern.
In the books, it's known that the elves typically have long hair. You don't see short-haired elves in the books. It's just that's their tradition. That's how they do things.
The thing is, I actually like this actor because I know him from Downton Abbey and a couple other British projects. He's a good actor, but this is not a role for him. It doesn't work, and he looks ridiculous in his elven muumuu. He just looks ridiculous.
So I just They're having a little lovers quarrel.
Oh yeah, that's what I was saying. Mm-hmm. Here comes the queer baiting beginning for this episode. It's just stupid. And it's like, oh, why are you so angry at me? This and that. And they're gonna get to the moment here where he's gonna suggest that they move on. I think this is it right here. And he's gonna reply to him, you really play a game of it, inserting your thoughts in someone else and making them think that they came up with it. I mean, okay.
Wow. He should be aware of that.
I know. That too.
How much do you want to bet these two kiss before the end of the show?
They're going to butt fuck.
Thanks, Durham.
Listen, quit with the queer baiting. Just fucking go through it. I want to see the ball slapping action. Let's go already.
No.
Of course you want to see it, Dermy.
I'm tired of queer baiting. Just fucking do it. Either commit or shut the fuck up.
When that happens, I'm not coming on any more of these shows anymore. I'm done.
That's it. He's done.
Done.
Done. Not going to torture anybody at the GCA. It's over. No more.
Just like that Last of Us episode where I checked out.
Oh, I never touched it.
So I don't know who said it before. So the One Ring was a cock ring.
Oh. Ouch.
It will always be
one ring to fit them all, I guess. Anyway, so this is it's as though Derby actually had it right. This is a lover's quarrel right here. It's just like, oh, why are you manipulating me? I don't like it when you manipulate me. And he's going to come in, and now this is the beginning of discussion of let's make rings for men. And he's just unhappy about it. That Celebrimbor's not being a good bottom. He's unhappy. He's not being a good bottom, and he's talking back to him. At least that's what I got from it.
Celebrimbor had like logic points. Humans are easily corrupted, but they don't even have the humans correct in this, so I don't even give a shit.
No, we haven't even. Have we seen the humans beside the Southlands
or Numenor?
Well, I know they're humans, but
they're kind of their own category. Yeah,
I get them the Numenorians.
They're humans.
The Numenorians are basically superhumans.
Yeah, right. So when I say humans, I mean like men of the West. You know, I'm thinking of regular old dudes, dudettes.
No,
we haven't seen anything.
No.
Is there Frodo Rohan at this point? What's going on?
No, so Rohan doesn't exist at this point.
Well, that's why I said Frodo.
Yeah. Rohan came into existence in somewhere around the middle of the Third Age, because the ancestors of what would become the Kingdom of Rohan helped out Gondor in the time of need. Gondor gave them the land of Rohan as thanks for that. So that's where Rohan came about.
I'm just trying.
I don't know, like everyday farmers, like.
Well, most people are farmers, and that's the thing. You have the serfs, you have the lords, you have the nobility, and they control themselves. Problem is, this version hasn't done anything to set up the world of men, even though it's in its infancy in this. I mean, they didn't even get it right last episode, where they didn't tell anybody that the Barrow Downs were created by First Age men. They're just there. And so they haven't done anything. But now talking about let's get the Rings of Men in here, it's out of nowhere.
The Barrow Downs were created by the men that would eventually become the Numenorians.
Okay. But Jed had it right. Now, when it got to this point, what are we? We're only 13 minutes into the episode, and when I was watching, I said, I'm sitting here, I went to myself, God damn it, Jed had it right.
Yeah. I mean, with season one, trying to imitate their flawed logic, but I thought their logic would be each season a new set of rings. We got the elves in season 1, dwarves season 2, men in season 3, and the One Ring at the end of season 4, and then the Battle of the Last Alliance is season 5. That's what I thought their flawed logic would be. But we're going to have them all by the end of this season,
but
feels like, except for the One Ring.
And like I was stating in my timeline, the rings were created thousands of years before the Battle of the Last Alliance.
Yeah. And not back to back either. They weren't just
right.
Oh, we made these 1 week, we made these the next week, and then the end of the month we got the last ones out. I mean, that's not how it works.
How far apart were the Elven and Dwarf wings? The timeline
it's been a couple of weeks.
So the internal timeline of the show is ridiculous. We can't tell if it's been a month or. A year.
The dwarven and the human rings were created first. The elven rings were created 90 years later.
Okay.
90 years is a lot, but yeah, in show we have no idea the time between these events.
Yeah, they haven't stated. Everything
So-
seems like it's all happening in like a week or two.
Yeah,
In
it
my
is happening
notes-
in this show in a week or two. It's only been like a couple of weeks since the Elven Rings were made.
Well,
So how are they
long
going to
has it
stretch
been-
this out to 5 seasons?
I don't know.
no.
That's why even though they put out that tweet this week, we're committed to 5 seasons. No, anybody with a brain in their head can realize you are rushing through shit because you're going to try and end this next season.
I guess.
Oh,
that's
oh,
what
I
makes
yeah,
sense.
I think you're right.
I think they know that eventually they're going to cancel them earlier than
Yeah.
the 5 seasons. So they're
I-
rushing to the end.
I've been saying this in season 1. I guarantee there's an escape clause in the contract to pull the plug at 3 seasons. I guarantee there's an escape clause.
They're going
That's
to go
gotta be
damage
what
control
makes
mode.
sense.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
yet the Rings of Power stands are continually saying, "I bet the chuds are fuming over this."
Even if
We're
it goes to
laughing.
all 5 seasons, we're just gonna laugh through it all. It's
they
no
don't
skin
seem-
off our back.
They don't seem to understand that we're not raging; we're laughing
Mhm.
at this for the most
I
part.
wanted to fall asleep through this episode. That's how bad it was.
Yeah,
Me too.
I did about 30 minutes in. I was starting to go like this.
And
And
it's so long. It feels like a lifetime for every
This is actually the
single one of
shortest
these.
episode.
Yep.
This is the shortest episode.
This is the
It
shortest
doesn't
one.
feel
It
like
felt
it.
like it.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it.
Yeah, it was because this was only an hour, 60 minutes, and all the other ones have been over 60 minutes in total with credits. So technically,
Wow.
this is the shortest episode. Doesn't feel like
Yeah. My question is, how long has it been since Galadriel jumped off the boat? I need that event as like the start of the show. How long has it been? They're never going to be able to answer that. But was that like a month ago?
a month. It's been a month.
All,
since
that-
the whole
let's
be
seasons in
fair.
a month. I would believe that with how
what it
bad
seems
their
like.
timeline was.
Yeah. So here we go. This is Sauron, I believe, saying, "I'm going to make the rings myself. You can just take a powder. I'm gonna take over your team, and we're gonna make the rings."
So in my notes, I wrote down that Sauron gaslights Celebrimbor to create the 9 rings of men. Sauron tells
That's
Celebrimbor
his
that
manipulation.
they will find the wisest and noblest men they can find for the rings.
Yeah.
He's got the manipulation talent of a millennial woman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, he looks like one. So
And the
Why aren't you
widow's
buying
and the
my
widow's peak.
pictures? You're just ugly and so.
Yeah.
now Celebrimbor's going to try and be strong. I want to move on from this. Let's move on to the next part. Sorry about
Yeah,
I'm
that.
so
that's-
done with this. I'm so fucking done
Yeah.
with this. I'm done with them. I'm done.
Okay.
There we go.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Make Numenor great again. All right. So we now return to Make Numenor great again, and our Pharazôn, or as we'll just call him, Make Numenor great Pharazôn. He is now dreaming of conquering essentially Valinor. His dream has begun. He wants to build fleets. He's lamenting the fact that, do you think the elves built that tower just so that we could see it and not touch Valinor? And that's it. And then he manipulates his son.
Yeah, so this
Sure.
this shit is if this was done correctly, it would not be his son standing next to him, it would be Sauron. It'd be Sauron basically telling him you deserve immortality. You should go and take it to the Valinor.
But have you thought about them damn dirty knife ears?
So
They-
this scene right here, it basically told me that they're gonna give this shithead kid a ring.
Maybe.
That's what they want you to start
I
thinking.
have,
Witch King.
Really?
I have
Yeah.
I have a theory.
Okay.
This shithead kid is the Witch King of Angmar.
Ah,
All right. We'll just put a pin in that one.
Am I the only one who completely forgot who he was when he first showed up a couple episodes ago?
No,
Him
I
and
remember he was.
Hey,
No, I
on-
forgot.
No.
No,
Is
I
Isildur's
forgot.
friend? I completely
The,
forgot about the two of
yeah.
them.
Mhm.
and I'd like to make a point. The ring wraiths were present as ring wraiths around 2200 of the Second Age. So I don't know when this show is supposed to take place. I assume they're meaning it to take place at the end of around the time Numenor gets destroyed.
Mhm.
The ring wraiths already exist at this point in the
Okay.
books.
That was a question I was going to ask.
Because the rings have already been given to men.
See,
They've
that's
already-
what I was going to ask later on when they are about to, at the end of the episode, when they were going to forge the 9 rings. So So the Nazgul exist. They exist at this point.
Oh,
okay?
They've got to gender swap some of the Nazgul. Queen Muriel might be a Nazgul.
Would not shock me. So my theory is either this is going to be the Witch King of Angmar or Big Tits McGee is going to be Witch King.
Ooh,
one of them.
That's a good
one
one.
of them is
too.
going to be Witch King.
The daughter of Elendil that never existed.
Yeah.
Well,
they would make a woman a Witch King. They absolutely would.
No man can kill me because I am a woman.
Exactly.
What we're doing right now is exactly what the show wants us to do. They want us to start gossiping about who's going to get the fucking rings.
Well, we're mocking them as we do it, so it's not happening exactly like we want it.
You're right. You're right. They want us gossiping, but it's like, yeah, but I'm trying to figure out what would retards do with this. So I'm trying to get into the head of a retard as a retard, and I can't even do it. It's like retardception. Yeah, and I'm failing because I'm smarter than them, and that's sad.
That's saying something. That's saying something. So what I love here in this scene is that for a second you think Pharazôn Jr. is going to be reasonable. But then, make Numenor great again. Pharazôn says, "You know, when you were sucking on your mom's titty, she had a premonition that you were going to die horribly. But I'm not going to tell you how that's going to happen unless you succeed in these tasks I'm going to set you to do." What?
I translate it as your mom hated you, and if you couldn't do a good job, I'll tell you why.
It's ridiculous. It's just so stupid.
$5 says his mom hated him because she ruined his body. Well, he ruined her body.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's
Something
a skinny
like
little
that.
guy. I don't know how much he ruined it. He was probably. I'm not gonna. Anyway. So now he's gonna send him off to do shit, and right after this scene, we've got. Here we go. The ship.
There's so many ships.
It's another goddamn ship. Muriel, I could see them writing this. Muriel puts her hand on his chest. He feels the warmth of her touch through his tunic, and he yearns for her. He yearns for her, but he knows he cannot, for she is his queen, and he cannot partake of her sweet loving.
I don't want it. I don't want it.
Let you do that.
She could feel his emotion through his moob armor.
Oh, he's giving up his moob armor, but they still have the moob armor. The moob armor is still there. All the guards are wearing bronze moob armor. It looks pathetic and dumb.
He just has regular moobs now.
Yeah. So this entire scene is ship. Ship. You're McQueen. We could rise up. No. Here's what you have to do. You need to go along with it because what did you see when you touched the Palantir? I saw myself leaving town, not know where. That means the future's changed. We're not gonna die anymore. Okay, fine. Did anybody else get anything different from that?
That's not how the Palantirs work, as far as I'm aware.
No.
I mean, we saw Sauron, Pippin, and Aragorn use them in the Lord of the Rings films and the book, but
the Palantirs, the Palantirs were not prophecy devices.
Yeah,
they were used to communicate long distances,
and
between people.
And if someone like Sauron, who has powerful mental abilities, is using it, and you're using it, he can F with your head.
The Palantirs were gifts, I believe, from the elves at some point. But what the Numenorians ended up doing with them is using them to communicate long distances over their kingdoms. Because eventually they migrated to, when Numenor was destroyed, they brought them with them to Middle Earth, and they used them to communicate between Gondor and Arnor. Mm-hmm. So yeah, all they were was communication.
That damn dirty elf magic. Should not be using that shit.
So, guys, it looks like a crystal ball, and crystal balls show the future.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Damn dirty elf magic.
It's normie bullshit. It's made for normies who just would see something and think something, not actual. Here's how it works, and it's not hard to explain how something works from lore. It's not hard, but they choose not to. They choose to create soap opera melodrama like this and force a ship that is just outrageously dumb and not even close to how any of this shit works.
Well, my prediction for why this ship is taking place is after season 1, we're all like, hey, Elendil's supposed to be King Elendil. He's an influential person, not just some random dude. They're going to have them get married, that's how he gets the moniker King, is by marriage.
When are they gonna start shouting "C is always right"?
Oh,
yeah,
I
I haven't heard that in a while.
Oh, this scene.
Now this scene.
Okay, let me pause for a second. This scene. Look how cheap the set looks.
Yeah.
Those look like plywood, plastic buildings.
Is this the same alley that Halbrand got beat up in?
No,
this whole show has had a problem with the set looking cheap.
No, I'm just waiting for there it is. Look.
What is that face?
Once again, they've done big tit Sister McGee dirty. They've now not only got her in a dress tapped down, they've wrapped an extra layer around it. I don't even know if she has breasts anymore. I don't know.
And then they gave her crazy eyes.
Yeah, they made her
crazy eyes. They made her look.
They made her look. I mean, she lost some weight in the face. She's real bony in the face now. They make her look all crazy and.
I want to say in season 1 she had a tan too.
In season 1 she had a little more meat on her bones, and now she's a little bony. And here comes the crazy. Look at that, man.
Oh,
yeah. That's still Karen.
Yeah.
She's gonna key your car.
She's gonna put your bunny rabbit in a pot of boiling water, man.
No,
she's gonna cook your bunny.
There's there's one of those feminist freak out moments that goes by is famous, just one of those faces, and she looks like one of them right up. The moment you see it, the eyes wide, glasses, and everything.
Last season, she was smiling. Her boobs were out. She was warm. She was fun. And now, I guess they're telling us this is what make Numenor great again does to you.
No, it's
because of them.
It's so subtle.
It's
that damn dirty elf.
It's that time of the month.
It's because they probably realized, hey, she's an object of the male gaze, and we don't want her to be. So now she's skinny, wrapped up bitch.
You are completely right. Completely right.
They took response.
They took away all the remotely sexy things in this show from season 1. I mean, now Baby Mama Bronwyn, she left to go be an activist, so she took herself out of it. But they dumbed her down, and even the assistant to Celebrimbor, she's cute. They got her all, and for a second in the previous episode she was in, when the wind was blowing, you could see she had a figure underneath her very loose dress, which they're using to hide her curves. She's pretty and has a figure, but they're doing their best to hide it.
Oh yeah. I will never forgive Amazon for getting rid of the 2 best things about this show.
Yeah.
Well, 4 best things.
All right. So Elendil's going to turn over his sword and relinquish his rank as captain, and now it's just basically, oh look. First of all, dude, what is with that? Hang on a second. Look at that. Let me get to the angle where there, man. That fro, dude. That fro. Bravo.
Like
Numenorian fro.
Like I said, there was no black Numenorians.
Yeah.
Well, there was the black Numenorians, but they were the evil Numenorians.
Can I just point something
Can't have
out?
that though.
Yeah. But they weren't black. They were just called
that. I want to point this out, okay? Almost everybody who's against make Numenor great again is white. And everybody that's, for all Farazan, this dude and Queen bitch, they're the very diverse ones. Yeah.
Yeah. No, Jeremy, you reverse that. You reverse that. Make Numenor great again is all white, and everybody against them is all ethnic. You reversed it.
That's what I meant.
It's a good observation. But this scene is just terrible. It's a ripoff on Spartacus, like the whole hey, thanks, Captain. That their play on Spartacus, and there's nothing original in this show.
No. Well, I don't see what's the big deal of just acknowledging that he was their captain.
Yeah, and the little white boy screaming about it, being all pathetic. But I want to point out he's still a captain. He still owns his own ship. That's what we saw him pick him up in season 1.
One thing I want to mention: look at their outfits. There's no dirt, no grime. They live in a middle-age type era. Those are dirty ages. They're not exactly cleaning their laundry every day. It just doesn't look lived in. It looks too clean.
Well, Alf, are there any references to elven washing machines in the books?
It's called women.
They wouldn't be using that damn dirty elf magic. I told you. Bad.
But it just, for a era like this, all the stuff looks too clean.
It looks clean, but it looks cheap.
Adam, I hate
Yeah.
you right now because you pointed out the fucking fro. I
Now you
can't
can't
unsee it,
you
and
can't
right
unsee
now
it.
it is in this perfect spot.
It's that under
Yeah,
the
it
is.
is.
Under this is just right there. It's perfect.
Look at his eyes too. I don't know, like.
Well, that S is perfectly sitting on his head right now.
Yep. That's what we call just a perfect natural moment right there. Perfect natural moment. Unlike his hair. So they're all just captain, my captain. And all this is done is to make Farazan Jr. be angry and have him have beef with all of them now. Now I've been insulted. And I'm going to do dastardly things because now I'm a villain. I'm a villain. I'm evil. Shut up.
Something I want to point out here is there's no scale to Numenor. Like, this is a big nation. It's not just a little baby island with 20 people.
No, it was a huge island, and it looked like a starfish with 5 arms. That's how the island was shaped, but it was humongous. So, yeah, they make it. Everything only happens in this one little block.
Yeah, we never see more than like 20 people at a time. Even the coronation wasn't at some big event like Aragorn's coronation at the end of Return of the King. The whole city was coming out to see that. Coronations are a big deal. Everyone's going to come see those. You're going to see more than 20 people standing there waiting for an eagle to show up. There's just no scale.
Oh,
and I guess they just learned from duplicating all the people with Baby Mama Bronwyn in season 1. And they can't get away with it, so they just won't do it.
That eagle shit didn't happen.
No. Now just wait for the when we get some of the larger scale scenes, we must all remember to try and see if we can find the duplicates. We want to see really get. We're going to try that.
I remember that from season 1.
Wasn't Diverse Dude here like a dick in season 1? And then
he was angry at Isildur for this and that, and now he's just the loyal son that never was to Elendil, and he's their oldest friend. I can get you back into the Sea Guard if you just help make Numenor great again.
I forgot about the Sea Guard.
The sea is always right. And he's like, well, you know what? The sea isn't right because you don't look hot anymore. I'm leaving.
Yeah, if you had your tits out, maybe we'd be listening to you.
All right, where are we now? I can't quite tell because all right.
Palantir.
So this is the last sea of Farazan. He's gonna go and now grab the Palantir and I guess have his own vision.
Probably.
He's staring at that damn dirty elf magic.
He's getting
played by Jack Black.
I think you might be wondering how can I stick my dick in this? That's what he's wondering right now.
Look at those eyebrows, man. Those are Vulcan.
So this is Al-Farazan. Even in the books, Al-Farazan was a very imposing person. Does this guy look imposing to you?
No, he looks like Karl Marx.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. Where are we now? Let me see. I can't tell yet. Okay. We're at Linden. We're at Linden. Gilgalad is. This is the message. He's reading the message.
Yeah. And the voiceover is so cringe here.
Yep.
We have quieted the forges as you requested. So now here's we did this with deceit, everybody. We did it with
corrupted the rings. That was such a bizarre explanation.
And Gilgalad, now some people are saying he's had a full vision of his future, where he knows he's going to die on the slopes of Mount Doom.
There's no evidence of that
because these images are completely. I mean, that doesn't mean anything.
That's from season Sauron. 1, which they decanonized.
Which doesn't make sense because he never got crowned.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So she's telling.
Why would they use that again? You're right. That's insane.
Because they're stupid and it's different people directing and writing every episode.
If we ask them, they'd say something like, that footage is what the elves perceive that event to look like, but we saw how it actually looked like at the beginning of season 2.
But what they would probably say is that was Morgoth, not him.
I mean, in season 1, they very clearly called him Sauron.
But they'll try to say that was Morgoth the entire time.
Yeah, Morgoth, who's the size of a mountain.
Well, and they didn't have the rights to him in season 1.
Yeah.
So now, some female is yelling at Gilgalad. You have to make a decision. So he's just being bullied by a woman.
Yep.
I love this scene. It's 5 seconds, but I love it because here comes Femron running as fast as he can, and man, just got to take that cloak off to run faster.
Dude, he ran a couple hundred miles pretty quickly.
And here's the thing. Poor Jed. Let me ask this question. I took it that he was running. They were going to a Region last season at the end of last episode. Not going back to Linden.
They were going back to Linden.
They were? Okay. I guess
they were
I was
gonna
just
go
confused.
Warren Gilgalad. But
man, he's just running.
He ran the whole way back. There's no distances here. I'm sure Region and Linden are a day's walk away from each other. I'm sure they're right next door. But the thing I want to point out is the stands on Twitter have a theory for why this scene exists, and I actually believe it's true.
Okay.
They said, "Oh, I really want to see the scenes where Elrond has a daddy-daughter moment with Arwen to show her how to dramatically unclip her cloak as she's running, because she does that, and I think at Two Towers." As she's running towards Elrond. And so they're like, oh my God, we're getting to see like little baby toddler Arwen, and her daddy's going to teach her how to throw off her cloak while running, and it's going to be so cute.
But he isn't married yet. He has a boyfriend in Casa Dune.
Wait. Doesn't even exist yet.
Yeah, Elrond married Galadriel's daughter.
Who is
just nowhere to be found, because Celeborn's nowhere to be found.
I just love.
I'm done with the stands. I'm done.
So what I love here is just that
done.
Taking off the cloak will make him run faster. I guess. I guess it's gonna make him run faster. You run.
He's zoned in.
Run like Tom Cruise running away from his homosexuality. Just run.
This is way more fun.
That's exactly what Elrond's doing. He's running away from Khazad-dûm and Celeborn.
So Deeza's angry that the ring took her job. That's all the scene is.
Yep.
Dee's nuts.
She is so obnoxious, and she just bullies him here.
Hey, but she said nothing. They didn't change anything.
Those crazy eyes.
I went too far. So she bullies him here. She bullies him here to buy this orb, this piece of rock.
Do you remember 2 episodes ago, whatever? They were too poor to buy the food they needed. But she's like, I want a big rock.
It's for her daughter.
Then she deceives him and gives the money anyways.
Yep.
Well, no, she talks.
She bullies him.
She bullies him into the $100. Then they agree to $150. But the reason it was $200 was for the ring.
The 50% tax.
Because there's you're right. I forgot about the ring tax. I forgot about the ring tax. Taxes. See, when make Khazad-dûm great again, they're gonna raise your taxes. She's so obnoxious here. I can make the deal. Durin, you have to go away because you're just a man. I know what I'm doing. And this whole retarded moment here, she drops it. Bad. It's supposed to be comedy, but it's not.
No,
that was
Rachel.
comedy?
What did you say the scene reminded you of from earlier in the season?
Just like the previous episode where Gandalf's map goes flying off and hits the tree.
Yeah.
And that's just what this is again.
Yeah.
So now this piece of rock is gonna roll apparently forever.
All right. Yeah. So I gotta ask a question. This is right next to a very busy market.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How did these people not have explored this cave?
Yeah, this is supposed to be a secret area.
I guess it's only where Elrond and Durin go, so they make sure no one else goes there, so they don't get caught. I don't know.
Well, when they're having sex,
it's bizarre. That's clearly an easy place to go.
I mean, it's right there.
Listen. It's not easy for her because she's fat.
It just made no sense. So okay, ball roll. You keep missing, and you stumble on this area that.
Yeah,
obviously.
Now,
nobody's ever been to before.
Well, and is it just me, or does this look like Peter Jackson's adaptation of where Bilbo and Gollum have their riddle off?
Riddles in the dark, yeah.
Riddles.
Well, I just want to ask her. You're looking for this ball that rolled around on the ground, and you decide not to look down when you enter a room. You decide to sing, and then it says, "Oh, it's right next to your feet." Just look down.
It's right there.
Right
but she's got to do her thing.
She already looked down to put the lamp down.
She did. Yes. She put the lamp right next to it.
Well, last time she sang in a tunnel, it didn't do very well. Or in a cave.
I know, but she has to prove she still has the juice, man. Oh, and why does she have to go like this?
Yeah, what's with the hands?
What's with the hands?
The opera hands?
It's a technique, Adam.
I found it.
Oh, it's right over there.
right
How
there.
high?
It's literally right
No,
in front of me.
in front of the fucking lamp, like
see it.
freaking Rachel pointed
Is
out.
she blind
So,
too?
so does she do that when she loses the TV remote and she's trying to find it?
Yeah, maybe she's
loses her
Italian and
No,
she has to
it's-
sing with her hands.
No. She didn't lose it. She rolled over on it and it got lost in her.
Oh.
I do want to say, where are her children? She might need to sing to locate them.
Did you know
I don't know.
We haven't seen their children this entire
Not
We
this
heard
season.
them. We heard them last season.
We heard about them, but we saw them last season, and now they talk about them.
All right. Now, mind you, this thing rolled forever. Now all right, last season, at the final moments of last season, the leaf that fell or the paper, whatever, that fell all the way to the bottom of Khazad Dûn woke up the Balrog then. So the Balrog went back to sleep, and now her bellowing woke it up again.
I guess it's ancient and nameless, but we know what it is in.
Well,
during the-
and it also likes to sing.
Well, Rachel actually has a theory about this. This is actually
Yes.
misdirect.
All right.
I do. So I do think this is a misdirect just because, first of all, they already showed the doors earlier, and they do the same scene with the like ripples over the water that happen in Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings right before the Watcher comes out. So I think this might even be possibly a misdirect, thinking it's the Balrog, but it's actually the Watcher in the water.
Mulkey agrees with you. Mulkey agrees with you.
When I saw this scene, I thought the same thing. I thought when I saw the ripples in the water, I was like, Watcher? You know?
It was it was either Balrog or Watcher. That was what it was.
Well, either way, she's going to be so frightened. Oh, hang on. She's going to be so frightened that she's going to drop it, and it's going to break. That thing rolled for God ever, probably went over a couple small ledges, and that's what breaks it.
I guess so.
Dramatic effect.
Fear broke it, Adam.
Yeah.
I would love if it was actually her echo that was screaming back to her and she was afraid of.
I just want to point out that other people online are saying that that's a Balrog and that it's being awoken because they're over mining the cave.
But they haven't started even mining yet.
Yeah,
well,
that's
by
how
punching
it
the
does
holes and
wake
stuff
up.
like that.
He's not supposed to wake up for another couple thousand years.
I know.
They already
makes
woke them
no
up
sense.
because they were delving too deep for the mithril.
Put a pin in that.
But
I
they're
want to bring
not
that back up.
delving-
I want to bring that back up when Durin and Durin have their little father-son talk.
Mm.
But first, okay, go ahead.
It could be anything now. It could. Rachel could legitimately be correct that it's the Watcher, and it would not surprise me.
Now, I just want to once again comment: these representatives of the other dwarven lords, they got there so fast, man.
Yeah, it's not like they're all from one location. They're
Oh,
from
no.
6 places spread across all of Middle Earth.
Yeah, the dwarven clans are spread out
Yeah.
several hundred thousand, not 1,000, 100 miles apart.
Yeah.
So they're not going to get there quickly.
My example was Erebor. I mean, man, that is far away from where they are right here, and they're not even close.
Yeah, you got Erebor, you got the Blue Mountains, which are near Linden. They're not going to get there quickly.
And I'm waiting for the right angle because of the overlay plus the show here. But I want to bring this up right here. That is the blackest dwarf I have seen yet. I mean,
oh shit! I just saw the dwarf.
I mean that dude.
That's a lot of melanin for someone who lives in
That is
caves.
Lisa's father. Thank you very much.
Well, I'm just but Alf brought up exactly what I was going to say. That that dwarven lord territory must be in the desert, in the sands, because there's no way you get that much melanin in your skin living underground most of your life.
They're friends with the whatevers
Tooks?
over in
The
Tooks over in
Keep trying.
the desert hobbits. He's friends with them.
There you go. You did
The
it.
Jewish hobbits.
What?
I was trying to call them by what they actually were, but I couldn't.
Yeah,
No, it's the non-Jewish hobbits, Jeremy.
Yeah. You stretched it too far.
The Jewish ones
we-
are the Harfoots. The non-Jewish ones are what are they? The stores.
The
The
stores.
stores, that's what they were. Oh, but no. Remember, there was the ones that went off to go find the promised
Yeah,
land, and then they were
those
going to
were
come
the
back
Jewish
to bring
ones.
the rest. Yeah,
Yeah,
but no, they
the
were going to bring the
Harfoots.
rest of the Jews to the promised land.
Disavow. Anyway.
We already went over this.
All right, so they want now. he's not going to let them take the rings. He's not going to do anything. And he says they're going to have to pay for them. Essentially, we find out later. He wants them to pay for it. Now, here is the problem I have. He's now talking about the riches of Moria, and right there he says gold. The riches of Moria is Mithril.
Yes.
And that's what they just kept digging deeper and deeper, as you just said.
But Mithril wasn't discovered until season 1, so it had to have other riches.
But they already discovered it, and they should be mining it to go deeper and deeper and wake up the Balrog. But no, we're going to mine everything else but the Mithril.
One sec, we got a Beardo raid.
Oh yeah, that's over on my channel. So yeah, thank you, Fear the Beardo, for raiding over. I guess he was playing some Space Marines.
Everybody!
So
welcome,
it was a
everybody.
big raid. It's about 40 people. So
all right, welcome everybody.
Nice.
Thank you.
Welcome to Mordor country. We're only how far we're literally halfway through the episode. We're halfway through the episode.
God.
Nice. Yeah.
This is going to be a 3-hour stream.
Welcome everybody.
10 o'clock. We're halfway through.
I have 30 minutes before Saturday charity.
Well, you're
not going to make it.
You're gonna be like, so welcome everybody coming in from Beardo's raid. Thank you, Beardo, for the raid across all our channels. We're all seeing you here, and we are roasting Rings of Power Season 2, Episode 5. If you want to come back later, start from the beginning. We've had a great discussion so far, so we're gonna keep going because Dermy's gonna bitch and moan if he doesn't get to Chatterday on time. So he's talking about, oh, we've got all the riches. And I put a pin in this earlier. I want to go back to it now. When I mentioned, we talked about the corruption of the rings. He realizes he doesn't have the ring on. He took it off, left it there. He's had this ring for what, a week?
Already given him Alzheimer's?
We don't know time in this show. Could be an hour, could be a month. Who knows?
Yeah.
I was assuming a day.
But
I think that this is like kind of like a throwback to the original trilogy of like, have you seen it? You know, like freaking out.
Oh yeah.
That they don't.
Your hand is heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right. There were total member berries to the original Lord of the Rings trilogy, but the corruption doesn't happen this fast. It's a slow, gradual thing that poisons the mind. Right.
Right.
Yeah. It's not instantaneous.
And like Alf said earlier on. With the dwarves, it's not about paranoia. It's not about straight corruption. It's about greed. And even though he's being greedy here, it's happening way too fast. It doesn't make any sense.
It happens over a longer period of time, but just for TV's sake, they're making it happen really quickly.
But this leads to what I mentioned earlier. With all the stuff they have in the Second Age, they could have made 4 or 5 different shows splitting up the Second Age.
You could add a whole season of this. Who wouldn't want to sit down and watch a whole season of accurate dwarf lore?
They could have had a MCU level cinematic universe with all this shit if they had done it accurately.
But they wanted fucking Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Well, they always want Game of Thrones because everybody thinks the only way to win is Game of Thrones, even though Game of Thrones doesn't totally win anymore. Now here we go. They're trying to say, let's do this and that. Let's mine. But here comes during the fourth. I always freaking do that. During the fourth. And he goes, wait a minute. We can't do this because Diesel went, and something else went, and she went, and it went, and there's something bad down in the depths of the thing. So we can't go any deeper.
Do that again?
I'm not. No.
How much to make you do it again?
But during the third response is, forget about it. We're gonna be rich. Essentially, that's it. He says, forget it. We're gonna be rich. It's gonna be great. It's awesome. Don't worry about it.
We're perfectly fine, dude. We're digging deeper. There's tons of money here. And on top of that, is this when we find out that in order to get the lords to get all that other shit, they're gonna give us 50% of everything from them?
Yeah, for the extra tax. And also this is where he says, I see it.
I'll say this with this show, I'll compliment it where when it eventually comes up, but the look of the dwarves, I think they've nailed for the most part, other than the black dwarves.
I can agree to that.
I'd say you're right. Yeah,
I can be fair.
I don't like their architectural aesthetic and some of their armor, but
I think the way they
prosthetics are fine.
Yeah, the way the people look, the clothes they're wearing,
the only one I don't like is during the third. I don't like the way he looks. He looks
His
odd.
crown looks awful.
His crown's awful, and his dwarven moo doesn't look good either. I don't like his
so many moo-moos.
Their
a lot of
faces
moo-moos.
and like the facial hair and stuff look pretty good though.
Yeah, they did get that right.
Mm-hmm.
I think my problem with Durin the Third is he always looks like he's about to fall asleep or take a fart.
Where are we?
He always has that face on.
Oh yeah.
We're back in the days of Eregion.
Pantene Provine here.
And now
is this when
this is invisibility.
This
is
yeah,
invisibility.
this is the how.
And this is all done by Sauron, so he can get Celebrimbor back involved.
I fucking laughed at this scene when we grabbed the hammer that was flying around the room. I was like, this is the stupidest shit I've ever seen.
Everything about this is so.
Keep in mind too, they hung up an anvil that's the size of a Volkswagen earlier by a single rope.
Mm-hmm. A good point. Good point.
So I want people to realize this is all being done by one person.
Yeah, and she's out of control apparently. She's having a nervous breakdown in the world between worlds. I'm just going to call it that.
Oh, but you know why though? You know why they made her invisible? Because she's the one hot chick left in this show. And to avert the male gaze, they have to make her totally invisible.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. Now he's gonna feel her up. Did she give consent for that? I want to know.
My question though is in the Peter Jackson films and even in the books, when someone goes invisible, did the stuff they interact with not go invisible? Because obviously everything that they are dressed in disappears. But I don't think you ever see floating hammers.
I don't think they don't ever explain that really.
Well,
what I was explained, at least with the One Ring, when they put it on, they go to the spirit realm, but they can still interact with, the real world.
Yeah.
Yeah, because a good example of that is when, and I'm sorry to cut you off, Adam, but when Bilbo puts it on at the party and then he walks all the way back to his hut,
he still
and he interacts with like the real world. He interacts with doors and stuff, and you see him doing it.
At the end of Fellowship, when Frodo escapes from Boromir, he's able to punch Boromir while he's invisible.
Yeah, no, I know they interact with the world like that, but I mean, like if they picked up a hammer, would the hammer disappear?
Yeah. But I don't know. But that's part of the thing I want to bring up here is, and Alf, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Tolkien never specifically explained why the invisibility is a thing, did he?
He didn't really explain why. It's just with the One Ring. Now, the other rings can't do that.
Yeah.
No.
Now, the Elven rings, they can make them invisible. The wearers of them can make the rings invisible, but they can't. The other rings don't make anyone invisible. It's just the One Ring.
Well,
yeah.
The reasoning for making this ring and be able to go invisible was increasing the amount of mithril.
Well, yeah, that's the reason. We added a little more mithril into it, and there she is, uninvisibled. And this is funny as hell here, where, are you okay? I was in the spirit realm, and I basically saw the devil. I saw the devil, and he looked down on me, and I can feel his stink upon you. And I love it how she doesn't understand that, no, the devil is still in the room. You were looking right at him. He's right there.
Beardo's in the chat calling out Dermy.
Good man.
Well, hey, listen, we all do that.
Listen, we're not at a point where I can talk about the evil elf magic. Okay?
We're not back at Numenor yet. Beardo. So
we're at days of our lives in which
we're in
go to bed.
Now she has her freak out, and in the middle of this, Celebrimbor is going to get called away because now Durin the Fourth, I got it right that time. Durin the Fourth has come to talk about the dwarven rings are bad. They're bad.
Okay.
They're bad. And
They're
now
bad,
this is where okay. This is where he says we put a little more mithril into it. That's why it's unbalanced. Now this is the thing. That Sauron has manipulated him into getting involved with the process. And look how creative he was. Because it's not as though he didn't know this would happen.
So supposedly he set up the other smiths there to fuck everything up so that Celebrimbor would have to get involved?
Yeah.
Seems like it.
Yeah. And there's another, where is he? I think I've already out of anger. Another black elf with a tight fade in there. Of course.
There's a lot of
Okay, here comes the
diverse
messenger.
health.
Here's the messenger. He's going to leave.
At the dwarves.
Now, we've got to get to this part here where after he leaves, Sauron's going to go sit down and talk to one hot chick left.
I think that's a different scene.
Oh,
Yeah,
what's
I
the next scene? It's the next scene.
because
it's the next scene. It's the next scene.
But I do
Because
want to
they're
interject
sitting
here before I forget. It's something that's bothered me since season 1, and I don't know if this is in the lore, Alf, but it does not make a goddamn lick of sense to have a forge like that at the top of a tower. I mean, just looking at the anvil, how difficult it was to maneuver in the room. Getting it up to the top of the tower is a massive feat that is just not necessary. Just put the forge on the ground level.
That's never stated in the lore. It's stupid.
Just retarded to have a forge that high in a tower.
But Jed, have you considered that goddamn dark, dirty elven magic? Okay.
I didn't even think about that, Jed. You're right, because all they do is make heavy shit, and you got to move it up and down the tower.
Yeah, it's making so much more work. Like I can believe that it's possible, but it's just not practical. You're wasting hours and so much effort to do something that just walk it through a doorway. So much easier.
Yeah. All right, so here we are. This is part of Sauron's big plan to manipulate Celebrimbor. We're now after Durin goes, there's something wrong with the Dwarven rings, and of course Celebrimbor was like, no, they're perfect. There can't be anything wrong. They're perfect. And it's sowing the seeds of doubt.
It's such a fucking retarded scene.
I know. What do you
mean? We have to get there, but the fucking how he's sowing the seeds of doubt is so fucking retarded.
All right, here it is. When he comes up, I was right. Here it is. Now you were, you were so great to survive the spirit realm
because she saw the whole literal Satan.
Just saw the devil, the demons coming up from the ground and stanking up the place. And then here's what I find so. I don't want to say I don't think it's ironic, but it's so to me amusing. Is for a moment there, when you had the ring on, you reminded me of the Lady Galadriel. And now here's the thing. This chick's hotter than Morfydd Clark.
Yes.
Yeah, she was probably better casting for Galadriel.
Yeah.
She has a softness about her that
there it is. There's softness. She's like the same hobbit size that Morfydd Clark is, but she's pretty, she's attractive, and she has actual warmth. There's actual warmth coming from her.
The elves are completely off in this show. The elves in Tolkien lore are supposed to be angelic in appearance. I think in the movies they nailed it. They picked people that had soft features, look more angelic. But this show, they all look frumpy.
And they all look human. They look human. Look human. Okay, where are we now?
We also skipped over the fact that I think fucking Sauron basically says, that Satan figure that you saw was Celebrimbor.
Okay. I missed that. I missed that.
Yeah,
it's
didn't
taking a toll
that
on him.
That was so bizarre.
I missed that. Yeah,
stupid.
She's a moron if she believes that.
Yes. They're all morons, this is the most retarded scene I've seen.
Okay, so here we are.
Before we get to it, though, Sauron, the master manipulator, in his Anatar form, his great lie is, that's totally Celebrimbor. That's the best he can come up with to cover his true face.
Yeah.
The devil tells lies.
You could say something like, Sauron is interested in what we're doing here, so he's watching us, and so it's projecting in the spirit realm. You could come up with any sort of modicum, just a mini lie is all you need, and that's what
guys. The chains and whips in my dungeon are actually Adam's.
What?
He's trying to pass off his degeneracy on me like that. Just don't pay attention.
That's what Sauron said works.
Well, Dermy, we all know that you're a degenerate, and I'm not.
No, I said that.
I don't know. That meme last night on Ballbusters.
That's apparently how that works.
No,
you and Dermy.
We do not refer to that god awful thing you made.
According to the show, me just saying that all my degeneracy is actually Adam's, that's enough to convince you guys.
No. Anyway, we're back at Make Numenor Great Again, where they're now doing a prayer for the dead.
After how many
How
months?
long has it been?
2 weeks? I don't know.
We don't know. There's no scale of time in this show.
Wouldn't you?
They
And the
needed a
shell in
little
the
bit-
wake, that is pathetic. It's so, there's nothing, I guess I want to say sacred or memorializing about this.
Yeah, it's
just
not beautiful or anything.
Yeah.
And I don't think shells float. I mean, at least the ones I've tossed into the
I
water
bet they
before
would.
don't
I don't know.
float.
Maybe if it's dried out enough.
Maybe.
They're magic shells.
Okay, I'll take that.
Damn dirty elven magic.
So I guess he's finally accepting plot armor Isildur's death, even though he doesn't know Isildur's plot armor. We do. All right, so here comes Farazan Jr. with a bunch of moob armor, and they want to bulldoze this for a new aqueduct.
That doesn't make sense. Okay, so
all right, go ahead.
I'm all on board.
An aqueduct on the water?
On the ocean. That's salt
It's so
water.
stupid.
Don't question it. I'm all for make Numenor great again, but this is your sacred shrine, your oldest one. Wouldn't if we're all about, we're good, we're gonna go back to our roots and stuff, that make Numenor great again. Why are we bulling down our sacred shrine?
A little lore input here. Near the end of Numenor, the Numenorians used to be respectful of Eru Luvatar, the one god, and the many, Maiar. But near the end of their civilization, they turned their back on God and all the Maiar.
So we're just doing it now.
Exactly.
Just out of the blue.
This took place.
It's rushed. It's rushed. It's the
It
rush
took
thing
place in the books. It took place over 1,500 years. That slow, turn their back on the god.
It's the rushed aspect all over again. Yeah. So
Wow.
right now they wanted to bully the old man. Elendil says no. Let's make a compromise. And then predictably, I knew it was going to happen as soon as it started. Oh, I'm going to break it.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that coming. It's so predictable.
So bad.
Absolutely.
So now he punches him, and he just got beat around.
you.
And now he does the whole hold him, guys. I want to give him a hit. I thought he was going to do it too, but then this happens, and you have the sloppiest boy brawl ever. They're going to roll
I
around.
honestly don't care who wins this fight.
Well, I didn't care either. But here's the thing, and here was one of my biggest arguments for this episode of why it was so mass for retarded. At least from a storytelling perspective. Here we have two characters, two essentially made-up fanfic characters, and I will admit I felt the tension because I knew somebody was going to die here. I just didn't know who. But here's the point: one of these two fake characters who have no plot armor has to die because Elendil, who's covered in plot armor just like Isildur, cannot die, cannot suffer any sort of ill fate. So one of them has to die. So this is crap storytelling where you have made up fanfic characters made to die because you can't kill real characters. So it's fake emotion, fake tension, fake everything. And it boils down to dude getting stabbed in the back.
This scene confused me because this show does a terrible job explaining the characters. I thought this was Isildur's brother, Anarion.
Oh no, I knew this was.
But then they call him Valandil.
No,
Valandil is Elendil's grandson, so it doesn't make any sense.
This is Isildur's best friend who he had.
He's from season 1.
He's from season
1. But yeah,
1.
this fight is terrible.
I mean, we had freaking Farazan Jr. there trying to baptize the demon babies away that the elves obviously imbued inside him. Okay,
and
we're
then he's
trying
doing
to clean up the elven magic here.
Did you guys catch? He's doing a Galadriel here, going
Yep.
as he's swinging the sword.
He learned from the queen.
He learned from the warrior princess.
Twist and gut.
I will say though, that's a vicious arm break. I'll give him that.
I was impressed by that.
It seemed like a shoulder break to me.
It's the break is vicious. Period.
Yeah.
And he's like,
he lost the right to live the moment he did the most retarded thing ever: drop the sword next to the bad guy and walk away.
Yeah,
throw it in the water at least. If you
that's
next to his other arm that still works.
Yeah, that's when I knew he's the one that's going to die when he turns his back on him. And it's just so anticlimactic and worthless because nobody cares about this guy. People that stands online are going, "Oh my god, he died! I can't believe it."
He was a douchebag in season 1, then he magically became a good guy, and now we're supposed to care about him.
Yeah.
But this death right here doesn't really matter all that much because the moment he attacked the prince, most monarch societies, I mean, if you hit royalty, that's an offense punishable by death. So the moment he surrendered, he was dead either way, most likely.
Yeah.
So
was Elindo, because Elindo punched him too.
Yeah. That should be what happens, but
and they're gonna
they don't even need to lie that Elindo started the rebellion or whatever that happened here. Just say, he hit the prince because he's a new prince now.
But it was never a rebellion in the books. When our Farazan sailed west to attack Valinor, Elendil knew that they were doomed and gathered all the loyal Númenóreans who still served.
Got the F out.
Who still served and respected God, left and went to Middle Earth.
Yep. Well, that's it for Make Númenor Great Again in this episode.
Then we're back to
now
petty
Days of Eregion, where when we made the rings, there's something wrong with the 7. Did you do anything wrong? No, we did. When we made them in the shadow of deceit.
Yep. So dumb.
We need to come out about our gayness. Okay, we need.
That's kind of what this is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's queer baiting. We're hiding in the closet. We shouldn't be hiding in the closet. I'm sorry I didn't really dig into that deeper in my review, but that's what this is. Because now we have to make the 9 rings of men. And this is where you have to find the bravest, the boldest, the greatest, the most honorable.
And do I'm just so fucking.
And Jed was right. And Jed was right. We are. I said last week, end of the season is when they get to the 9. Nope, 9 rings right now, with 3
Halfway
episodes to go.
Yep.
They need all the rings out there quickly.
Yep. And now, during the younger is going to go during the 3rd and say we can't do this, something's wrong. There's something wrong with you, and then he's going to bribe him with getting his rank back as prince. I'm so proud of you.
I need you, son. I'm so proud of you. You were right. We were
during the 3rd. He just takes it.
We were supposed to do this old elf stuff. Okay, we were supposed to bring him in. Now I need you, son. I need you.
Yeah.
I still hate that that's the symbol of his princedom or whatever. Yeah, the chest
plate.
plate.
Yeah.
Instead of like a signet ring or something like most people do, it's a uncomfortable chest plate.
And here he comes. Jesus, like, did you convince him? No, I'm prince again though. Yay! Promise me you'll never put the ring on. I know.
This is where it is. This is where it is when he touches her face. Jed
pause it when she touches her face. Some of the gold from his chest plate rubbed off on his fingers. The spray paint.
Oh, they always have crap on their fingers.
Oh shit!
No, actually no. They always have crap on their fingers. Diza always has shit on her fingers. They always do. They do. It's
is
so
that
weird.
an artistic choice or is
yes?
it
Because remember,
all the spray paint is that?
No,
bad?
remember. Go back to first season when they re-released those Amazon covers for the original trilogy with the Rings of Power covers. You can see the shit on their fingers on those covers.
Oh God.
Yeah.
So it's intentional? That's almost worse.
It's intentional. Yeah, it's intentional.
That's so much worse.
Yeah. So he says, I'll never touch the ring. I'll never put it on. Don't you worry. And
she's going to put it on.
All I hope is that she puts it on. Yeah, I hope she puts it on.
Oh, I guarantee what's going to happen is his father's going to die and he gets the ring because, like I said, the leaders of each clan get rings.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah.
So his dad would have to die for him to get the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's gonna get the ring eventually. He's not gonna put it on because he's gonna be better than his father. He's gonna be
he'll put it on
than his father.
No, she's gonna put it on and defeat the Balrog with it.
She's gonna wield a hammer. It's gonna be awesome.
I think she's gonna fight the Balrog.
She's gonna be basically she's gonna be basically a fat black Thor.
I want all these things to happen. I want
it's gonna be on the bridge of Khazad-dûm like Gandalf, and she's gonna be holding the Balrog off while
you shall not pass.
100%. She's
sing
gonna
it.
die saving
1
everyone,
hour,
giving them chance.
44 minutes. 1 hour 44 minutes. We got to clip that.
Oh,
Anyways,
here's
here
the
we
thing
go.
where he's like, "We failed with the 7, so now we need to make 9 to
balance
fix
it
our
out.
shit."
We have to
Just
balance
like
out the 7 with 9 more rings.
I don't know if that
7,
makes sense.
8,
I don't know how it
9.
makes sense either. And now we're gonna work harder. We're gonna work overtime. You're not gonna
So-
get paid because now he's gonna walk away shaken. And while he basically leaves them to work the floor, here comes Sauron to pep talk everybody. Don't worry, guys. I'm here for you. I'm your guy. It's
He
okay.
believes in you. That's why he's pushing you.
Yeah.
I love how Celebrimbor is a little bitch, and he believes that the 7 rings are corrupt because of his deceit, but he puts the blame on all his workers.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
god. Oh my god. Oh my god. I can't handle my boyfriend anymore.
This scene, that part makes no sense. He's sitting there breaking down. It's like, for what?
Nothing's happened yet.
Yeah.
Well, they made 10 rings, so now they're gonna make 9 more to balance it.
Wait.
I don't know.
No. And now here we're at the end of it. The orc army is arriving. They've traveled hundreds of miles in just a week. Giant army, and they've got a present for themselves trapped in a cart.
Which
got some
whatever
special-
episode this battle happens on might be more fun than these last ones.
At this point, I think it's going to be the final 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Because we have to have Adar and Galadriel have a treat. Okay, before that though, here comes Elrond to tell them we need to get to Eregion, and Gilgalad's like, "Sorry, I already sent the army to Mordor. My bad. Sorry."
Because we have to battle Anadar and
No,
whatever.
Sauron. No, he says Sauron is the thing because he thinks Sauron's in Mordor and Adar is no. I don't know. But here we go.
But real quick, Adam,
Okay.
I want to address what you said there. This is pretty going to be the last 2 episodes because Galadriel and Adar need to talk.
Yeah.
I think they're calling it a 2-episode battle because the battle is in 2 episodes. Not that it's a whole 2 episodes. It's going to start at the end of one and go through part of another. And it's going to be 20, 30 minutes of screen time, but barely being one. That we
Battle
wouldn't call it
starts
a
next
2-parter. Yeah, something like that. Where that's how it ends. Is the last 5 minutes is the battle starting.
And they're gonna make it an hour and a half. That last episode, I guarantee it. Make us really hurt.
That would be
so. They bring the cart. Of course, we all know who's in the goddamn cart. We all know who's in the goddamn cart. But the music makes a big deal of it when they reveal it and they play her retarded theme.
And
we already saw her get captured.
Yeah. Now here's the thing. I brought this up in my review. She was wearing, I said armor, I got that wrong, but she was wearing battle travel clothes when they captured her. Where did she get that dress?
They stripped her.
Okay, excellent point, Jed. If they stripped her, how did she hide a shiv
in her hair?
How did she maintain a shiv?
Prison wallet.
Prison wallet.
That's sharp shiv. Got to be careful, man.
I mean, if she practiced with that big dagger from season 1.
Hey, and women have 2 prison wallets.
Thanks.
Just wanted you to know that.
One's a prison purse. One's a prison purse. Okay. The other's a prison wallet.
Prison purse.
The orc who grabbed her, wasn't he the one who didn't want to fight anymore?
Yep.
Just wanted to be home with his wife and
That's
kid.
nuclear family orc.
Baby daddy.
He seems kind of to be going into war now, though.
Who, by the way, if you have the IMDb thing turned on, his name is Grog.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care.
You know that's the name of the
I don't
drink,
give a
right?
shit.
That's the orc drink.
Yeah.
Grog. Anyway, so now she's going to take Adar hostage here for a second. And he's like, hey, wait a minute. We want the same thing. We're allies in this. Let's have a
I thought he was going to kiss her. I thought he was going to kiss her.
She's going to
He's so
join with him?
close.
Do we think she's going to join with Adar?
Because
Because she's so anti-Sauron that anyone who says, I'm going after Sauron.
All I know is that in the
over.
trailers, we saw her and Sauron on a battered plains having a fight while he's holding his crown and she's holding a sword.
Oh,
dressed as she is now.
Mhm.
So that's all I know. Listen, I don't know how they're gonna have sex there, but they're going to. So
no, it's gonna be in her mind.
And
So
Jed, here it is. The 9 rings.
9 rings.
They're
And
literally
there's a
making
little
9
Sauron
rings
eye.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Wait, was it there? Wait, I didn't see it.
It wasn't actually there, but I think the molten ore there is supposed to make you think it looks like right there.
I guess so. All right.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember?
I mean, Yeah. I mean, our the overlay is not helping me see it right now. So
yeah, you can kind of see it. You can kind of see it.
Anyway, so that's it. That's it. The atrocity
Thank goodness
is
it's
over.
over.
It's over.
What are the other seasons going to be about if we're already
No
through?
idea.
What
I
is
don't
it?
know.
19 of the 20 rings.
I think they're barreling towards the last alliance.
They
battle.
have to. If
They have
anything,
to.
next season, no matter what happens here, next season, if not at the end of this season, is somehow the creation of the One Ring. And
I think next
the
season's
the Falls Numenor and the Battle of Last Alliance. The War of
I
Last
think
Alliance.
next season is the creation of the One Ring, all while the fall of Numenor, then the Battle of the Last Alliance.
I still think they're going to cram it all together.
When do they make Gondor?
It's going to be just lickety split.
It's when Elendil and Isildur make their way to Middle Earth. That's when they form. After Numenor falls, that's when they form Gondor and Arnor.
So are they going to use
But the Numenorians already had settlements along the coast before they formally founded the kingdoms.
Yeah, they have aqueducts.
It's fucked.
Are we going to get another font change for when it's named Gondor?
Yes. I hope they do.
Oh,
That'll be funny. All right, there we go, guys. That's another one in the books.
Man, we tore through that last half.
Well, there was
Nothing happened this episode.
Nothing happened.
Yes,
nothing
true.
happened. Nothing happened. We made our jokes. We moved on.
A guy got stabbed.
Yeah.
Did a guy?
You're not wrong.
A guy got stabbed. A couple of gay guys had an argument,
Yep.
and Disa.
Who got stabbed?
People.
Black.
I've already forgotten.
The
diverse
best
guy.
friend.
Isidor's friend.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they fought, broke his arm, and then he turned his back, got stabbed.
Just check that.
He even said that he
think about other
deserved to
stuff.
die because he threw the sword down. Because wait, who died?
Right.
The question is, who cares?
Nobody.
No one.
Yes.
Nobody cares. That's the thing. Nobody cares. We already have evidence to prove it, which we'll talk about in different streams. But we're done here. We'll be back next week with another one. Let's go around the table.
I legitimately
What?
almost fell asleep during the show. During this,
Yeah.
I was so
Well,
bored. I wanted
you're
to fall asleep, and it wasn't because of you guys. It was because of the show. It's
Sit up. Don't.
I
slouch.
Jeremy, sit up when you're talking to us.
No, fuck you.
No, I mean I slouched yesterday because I was angry, not because I was tired. Anyway, all right,
I'm
we're
tired,
done here.
and it's the show's fault.
Yeah, well now you get to play video games. All right, so shut up. Anyway, so Dermy, you're gonna go play video games now, right?
Yes, I'm gonna go play video games. Check me out on Saturday Chart. I still have
Well, we got 8 minutes. We're gonna
8
wrap it
minutes.
up. We're wrapping it up.
Yeah.
So keep going, dumbass.
We're wrapping it up so we can have protection.
Why you gotta make it like that? Every time.
You set me up.
Wow.
Every time.
set
No,
me up.
I didn't set you up. You took it.
You set me up.
I didn't set you anything up.
I'll take
God
it.
damn it. All right, shut up. All right.
Good.
ABF, what's going on with you?
Monday evening is Off the Hip show where we have a panel talking about gaming.
Excellent. A lot of game stuff going on right now.
Definitely. Lots to talk about.
Lots to talk about. A lot of sides. We had a pretty heated discussion last night on Ballbusters about the whole PS5 stuff, and we'll repeat a little bit tomorrow on Roundtable. Some more discussion on that. But yeah, so a lot of stuff like that. Go check it out on Monday. What time?
10 Eastern.
10 Eastern?
And we're going to
Yeah.
have Mr. Philip Chan from Eggroll on there.
Project Eggroll.
Eggroll! They're Asian and they have a podcast.
That's true.
All right. Jed.
Well, you can all find me at YouTube and Kick at Hollywood Scholar, just regularly scheduled live streams and videos. Back here next week for This is Mordor Country, and I think I know it's a couple months away, but be streaming Assassin's Creed Shadow, so I'm mentally preparing
do it?
for that.
You're gonna do it?
I think so.
Oh,
I
wow.
mean,
Do it, man.
I
Do
did
it.
Mirage, and that nearly killed me, but I don't know.
At least
Enough people want me to, yeah.
At least there's like a small smidgen of hope for me in Veilguard. I have no hope for you in Shadows. No.
Oh God, no! Especially if they force me to play as the samurai dude, because I just want to play as the chick. At least she's Japanese ninja type, so it feels more authentic.
There'll
So
be
I
a
definitely
forced
would-
mission. There'll be
just
a
like a
forced
Jacob and
Yasuke
Evie,
mission.
where you have to do some.
If you get an option to kill the other guy, take it.
Well,
But I didn't hate Jacob or Evie. I actually like.
No, I prefer Evie, but yeah, they were both good. But what I mean is, it's going to be a situation like that where you have to do some missions as one or the other.
Whenever it was a gang war, I always took Jacob, but I did a lot of other extra missions with Evie because Jacob's combat was better for gang war for me, at least for me the way I played it.
Yeah, his hand to hand was better, but Evie's stealth was better.
Yeah. Rachel. What's going on?
Not much. You can find me on my channel, Outline Crafting, working on a couple of smaller projects right now. Every Thursday, I do a podcast with a couple of ladies over on Know Me Without You's channel, just talking about whatever's going on in pop culture, games, movies, shows, etc. We rag on Rings of Power sometimes there. But otherwise, you can catch me next Saturday here on This is Mordor Country.
Excellent. Alf, what games you playing right now?
A few, but hey, Adam, thanks for having me on. I will definitely be back next week to tear this shit apart. Yeah. But tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern, I will be playing Space Marine 2 with Tomby and Smooth the DJ, so come check that out. And then tomorrow evening, I'll be playing with Gal and a couple guests on Phasmophobia, so come check that out. And then Wednesday, ABF, you want me to announce this now, or are you good with that? ABF?
I'm sorry, say it again?
Do you want me to announce my guest appearance on Wednesday?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, so Wednesday, Horny Alf is going to be on the Leighton Gay Show with the GCA.
Nice.
Oh, Wednesday at, 8:30 Eastern.
Yep, I'll be there.
He is horny. He is
I am
a lot, and maybe
I am pretty gay.
So might get gay with a cat at least. Might have. Well, you got to tenderize it before you eat it somehow. Okay.
Wait,
anyway,
I didn't know that he was a Asian.
Well, under all the fur, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, a little bit.
Are you a black Melmacian?
Maybe.
Yeah, I went there. Anyway, as for me, I'll be on Saturday in a little bit. Got to cool down, be on there.
Yeah, I'll be on Saturday too. We're gonna play some Dawn of Defiance, right?
I got to install it first, so that might take a few minutes. But
yeah,
until installed, I'll be dicking around on Dragon Age Inquisition, which you can watch me play on my gaming channel right now as we get ready for Veilguard at the end of October. Other than that, tomorrow, Mellow Mondays, tomorrow night, Wednesday, because we made a deal with Dermy, I'll be doing Agatha. Episodes 1 and 2.
Nice.
Oh, boy. You're excited. You know
it's a compromise. No, listen. If y'all don't come and watch this shit when I review it and get those views up, I'm gonna grift the hell out of this. You don't watch it, you don't comment, you don't like it, I'm stopping at 1 and 2. It's the only. I made the deal with Dermy for Ballbusters. I'll watch the first 2 episodes because we thought it was 1, then they announced it's 2, so I got to do for both of them. I made the deal for Ballbusters, but after that, I'm done. Unless you all show up, I'm done. I'm punishing myself enough with this shit. I punished myself enough with Disney Star Wars. I ain't punishing myself with the MCU. I ain't doing that.
I'm view botting your video.
My prediction is it'll be better than this stuff that we've been watching.
Really?
Yeah. not by much. I'm not saying how much. It's gonna be better.
Well, I'm doing that. So catch my Agatha review. Is it dropping Tuesday night or Wednesday night?
Anybody know? It's Wednesday.
I think Wednesday.
That means I have to do. That means it's Thursday. That means I have to review Agatha and frickin' Rings of Power in one day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sounds
and
like
if you
fun.
keep going, that's gonna be a couple weeks like that.
I don't want to play this game. No, I didn't sign up for this.
Hey, maybe they'll give you dark mode.
Oh, shut up.
Maybe it will give you dark mode. Do it for dark mode.
Yeah, Tuesday night you'll have dark mode. Watch.
All right, so next week got Agatha and Rings of Power review, and then Ballbusters with the Melees. We got Ballbusters with the Melees next week, and then we'll be back here.
You know exactly how Ballbusters with Melees goes.
Yeah, Oreos and liquor. That's how it goes. And then we'll be right back here for 8:30 p.m. Eastern. 8:30 p.m. Eastern. I'm broken already. 8:30 p.m. Eastern for another This is Mordor Country. So I would like to thank the entire panel for being here. We're having a great time. We hope everybody across all our channels are having fun as well. Hit those like buttons. Links to everybody's channels are in at least my description below. If you want to come here, we have a good time. We're thankful for all of you being here. We can't do this without you guys. Your support is what keeps us going. So have a good time. Have a good rest of your evening, and we'll see you guys next week. Until then, take it easy, everybody.